I'd like to call this meeting August 14th, the Romulus Board of Education to order. Can I have roll call, please?
Mrs. Freer is absent but excused. Mrs. Buckley. Here. Mr. Cooter.
Present.
Mrs. Lanasi.
Present.
Mr. McKevich.
Here.
Mrs. Roscoe.
Here.
Mrs. White present.
Okay, can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have a copy of an amended agenda in front of us.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the amended agenda. Support.
Okay, motion by Mr. Mankiewicz, supported by Mr. Kuderik. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're all set. Now we need the approval of a minutes, previous minutes, and do we want to do these all together, or do we want to do them
No, they're all
separately?
listed.
We can do them all together.
Okay.
We we need a motion, we're gonna go.
Oh, yeah. Madam President, I make a motion that we approve our regular meeting minutes of July 24th, our study session of July 31st, study session of August 2nd, and our study session of August 3rd, and also August 7th.
Support.
Okay, motion by Ms. Buckley, supported by Mr. Kuderik. Do we have any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. We need a motion for our board member compensation resolution.
I would like to make a motion that we approve the board member compensation resolution.
Support.
We have a motion by Ms. White, supported by Ms. Buckley. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And now we have the report of superintendent, so I'll turn it over to Mr. Weiss.
Okay, we'll start with personnel actions. Mr. Clark?
Thank you, Mr. Weiss. Members of the board, I have 3 personnel actions for you this evening. Our first one is a for your information. Resignation of Mr. Gary Andron, bus driver in our transportation department, and Ms. Marlo Walker, secretary 2 at Romulus Senior High. Our next personnel action, a motion is needed by the board to accept the resignation of 2 of our personnel, Ms. Maureen Brennan, teacher at Hell Creek Elementary School, and Mr. Paul Polanski, science teacher at Romulus Senior High School.
Okay, can I get a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to accept the resignation of personnel as submitted.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Mankiewicz, supported by Ms. Lanasi. Do we have any questions?
Yes, I have one. Mr. Clark, were these personal reasons that they resigned?
Both of these were personal reasons, yes.
Okay, and are we replacing these teachers?
Mr. Polanski, yes. Matter of fact, interviews will be held this Friday. For Ms. Brennan, we're going to kind of hold up on that to see what our enrollment is going to look like in the fall and then make a determination at that time.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And for our last personnel action, it's for your information. Due to the vacancy of a social worker position, that is Ms. Sue Mitchell, who was awarded our special ed director position, we have decided to recall one of our speech and language therapists, Ms. Cindy Mullins, and I wanted to make you aware of that. Thank you.
Bills for payment, Sherry?
Thank you. I'm recommending that the board approve the bills submitted for payment for the period July 31st, 2006 through August 10th, 2006 in the amount of $897,343.68.
Okay, do we have a motion, please?
Okay, I'll make the motion that we approve the bills for payment as submitted.
Support.
We have a motion by Ms. Lanasi, supported by Ms. Buckley. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I got a question. How did we end up with a large, is this a credit on this first prepaid bills for United Parcel?
That is something I'll have to look into.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to pull the bills and find out.
Okay, thank you.
I will get back with you.
Have any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Still yours, Sherry?
Yes. The next recommended motion is that for the board to move that LDS Contractors Incorporated be awarded the bid for ADA improvements as based on our civil rights audit in the amount of $47,100 to $48,300.
Okay, can I have a motion, please?
Madam President, I'll make a motion that the board award to LDS Contractors Incorporated the bid in the amount of $47,100 to $48,300 for the American Disabilities Act improvements at the Administration Building.
Support.
Okay, motion by Mr. Mankiewicz, supported by Ms. Lanasi. Do we have any questions, please? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And the last item in my portion would be for surplus vehicles. I'm asking the board to declare surplus on 2 vehicles. They're 1990 buses with varying mileage, and the reduction is based on the fact of we have less routes in our future due to staggered school starts.
I would like to make a motion that we declare those vehicles as surplus.
Support.
Motion by Ms. White, supported by Ms. Buckley. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Video?
Okay, next, Mr. Cruz was going to show us, if I can direct you to the screen, our, 2 of our technology people helped him in preparing kind of a year in review. This is part of our updating of our cable channel. One of the things we've been working on is getting more current information on our cable channel, and so this is kind of my understanding is a video montage of some of the events that have taken place in the last year, and you're going to see just a preview of it. The entire video runs for, what is it, about 18, 19 minutes? You're going to see a preview, but anybody can tune into our local cable channel and see it in its entirety.
Next on our agenda, we have the MASB Board of Directors election. We have 3 different names on here, and from what I understand, we need to vote on one of these and get it back by September 1st. Do we want to do this tonight, or do we want to wait and do this at our next meeting and fax it in then? So we have more time to,
Madam President, personally, I could vote tonight.
I can too.
Linda Jackson
Yeah.
has been very involved with Wayne County Association of School Boards, and she's been a school board member for a number of years in E-course and things. I definitely would support her. The
Yeah.
other,
I don't know the other 2.
yeah.
I would,
I
You
would
wanna go
support
ahead and
her
do
as
it
well.
tonight,
Yeah.
then?
yeah, I would like
Yep.
to make a motion
Okay.
that we, select Linda Jackson.
Support.
We have a motion by Ms. White, supported by Mr. Kuderik. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I'll give this to, I'll put a copy of this on Carol's desk and have her get it back to where it needs to go.
Great.
I got it.
Alrighty. Next, we have communications and expressions from the public. I have a couple papers in front of me. Mr. McLaughlin, yours was first. Please remember to stand in the box and,
Nope.
nope.
Go. Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Some of you may or may not be aware, and I'm going to ask that you let me make my comments and then ask me questions so I don't run out of my 3 minutes, because I kind of
Okay.
timed myself at home, and I think I'm going to make it.
Okay.
Back in July, I had filed a FOIA request to receive a copy of your budget and a copy of your central office administrative contracts and a list of your organizations that you pay for. And in response to that, I was charged $62.35 an hour for labor, which is your business manager's salary, including FICA and retirement, as outlined in her response to me. I responded to the superintendent's office that that's against the law. And although, being fair with Mr. Weiss, we did work out a refund situation that I believe is in the works. However, the problem is, I believe your policy discourages public disclosure, because I know the law. That's why this didn't succeed. How many other people are discouraged from filing FOIA requests because of your charges? Mr. Weiss's response is pretty much, well, that's why we charge what we charge, because, we'll give you kind of what you need, but we discourage having to research. Now, I'm going to read just a brief outline for you. In calculating the cost of labor included in duplication and mailing cost of examination, review, separation, and deletion, a public body may not charge more than the hourly wage of the lowest paid public body employee capable of retrieving the information necessary to comply with a request under this act. Fees shall be uniform and not dependent upon the identity of the requesting person. A public body shall utilize the most economical means available for making copies of public record. That's from Public Act 442 of 1976 as amended. Now, the interpretation of Public Act 442 from the Attorney General's opinion number 5500 dated July 23rd, 1979. That's important because this opinion is still in effect, because it has not been successfully challenged in court. And this opinion states, quote, "These labor costs may not exceed the hourly wage of the lowest paid full-time permanent clerical employee of the public body." That's all I'm going to say on it.
Okay.
I will be filing additional FOIA requests. I beg you to follow the procedure, the law, the state statute. Your superintendent and your business manager do not have the authority to supersede state law. There is an automatic $500 penalty. I will pursue that penalty if it's sought again. The last thing I have is, I was under the impression that the superintendent's salary was $133,233. Well, I hear that in the background. Do we also know that we also pay, built right into the contract, a 12.5% bonus? You're all aware of that, right? Plus, if his tax liability increases or his pension contribution increases, his contract calls for his salary to be grossed up so that he has no increased exposure. Interesting. You'll read about that on fastinromulus.org. We're starting a website. You guys are telling us that you have no money for our children, and you're giving a 12.5% bonus on top of a $133,000 salary. There's no carrot attached to the bonus. That money's automatic. Shame on you.
Okay. Next, Mr. Yes. Go ahead. Mr. Selhaney.
I'll pass it over.
Ooh.
Excuse me.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Jason Selhaney. I'm the president of the Romulus Education Association. I'm here to talk with you tonight again about some contractual issues that are happening. If you notice on the amended budget, originally was not included the resolution about the school calendar 2006 and 2007. As part of the amended your amended agenda, it is included in there. I'm here to express a concern today and a path that we hope that the Board of Education will not take. Today, you will be discussing possibly resolving about imposing a calendar upon your employees. Now, what's really important to us is to remember that we are still at the bargaining table. We are still showing up. We are still bargaining, and the imposition of a calendar concerns and, frankly, may hurt that bargaining process. Part of bargaining a fair, equitable contract needs that the needs of all parties are addressed, and we are well aware of those things. We'll continue with this policy, and the members of our association will continue to deliver the top-notch programs that we currently do. This is what we've always done, and this is what we will continue to do. We're a well-trained, experienced professional workforce that continues to bring prestige, honors, awards, and unique educational programs to this community and to the school. We do that for you. We pour personal time and money into our classrooms to ensure that our commitment and dedication to the students here is unquestioned. These things cannot be replaced easily, and a settled contract is what is best for this community so that we can focus our time and our energies on educating the kids in Romulus. And that's all that I want to say.
Thank you. Next, Kim Walls.
Okay, I've talked to you guys here recently since Friday.
Kim, I don't think that's on. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I've given most of the board members phone calls because I heard a rumor on Friday, and I've spoke to you about it, about outsourcing the custodial staff. And the comments had came from an administrative meeting. And so I was just sort of concerned because, I mean, 64 has always worked with the board in good faith. And we've always tried to, I've gone into several of the schools this summer, and boy, is that custodial staff really working themselves to death in those schools. You should really go look. Take a look. I mean, floors look like glass. Beautiful, beautiful job that they're doing. But my concern was on the outsourcing, because one of the reasons why 64 really supported Carl was about that you were not for outsourcing the staff. And I know that most of you board members are not for outsourcing our staff.
Correct.
So I just wanted to bring that and ask that anybody get any answers on where that rumor might have came from, because I am very concerned.
I thought maybe you might have known, Kim. I thought maybe that's what you
Well,
were
I heard it
saying.
came from administration. That's why I called you, because it came from administration, and it sort of like spread through like wildfire, and I got like massive phone calls. And that's why I called all of you, because I don't want any of my, you know, I'm trying to get them to stick behind the school board and understand that, you know, it's all about the kids. We're doing what we can do to get the jobs done, and we're out there, and I don't want to be undermined like I felt like I was at the last meeting that I attended, that, you know, it was not brought to our attention, you know, on all the cuts that were going to be made. And I sort of felt like that was like done behind closed doors and just whipped in our faces at that time. So that's why I just wanted to make sure that you, if you were considering something like that, would you please take the consideration to call us and to let us know?
First of all, we're not considering it. And second of all, Carl would like to respond.
I would like to respond. I received some panicky phone calls from a few of our board members over the weekend regarding your concern about outsourcing, and I'd like to take a minute just to clarify that to my knowledge, none of our central office administrators have been a part of any conversation regarding outsourcing. Our philosophy on that has not changed, and we're not looking at outsourcing as a solution to our budgetary problems at all for the 07-08 year. In fact, I'd like to add that I think most of you are aware that in some of our neighboring districts, they are looking at outsourcing as a solution. And I just want to historically remind you that one of the reasons that they're considering that is because in some cases they approved contracts for certain bargaining units that they couldn't afford. And they couldn't afford those then, and so the way that they're paying the piper now is by cutting salaries of some of their most loyal employees, and that is not the philosophy of this district. We don't want to go there, and we don't have any plans to do that at all. So unequivocally, no.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
When you find out who started that rumor, let us know.
Yeah, let
Yes,
us
please,
know.
Kim.
Rumor control, rumor control.
Next, Alice Club.
My name is Alice Klopp, and I'm the Chief Steward of Local 64 with Kim. And I have a question here from the report from the superintendent on C. What improvements in the administration building is planning on being done?
Oh, this is part of our compliance with thank you. It's ADA compliance, Americans with Disabilities Act compliance. We just had an audit and, pardon? Yeah, it's from the Office of Civil Rights. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. And what they do is they come in, they look at every program, every aspect of our district. Mr. Musham was kind of our local administrator who was in charge of that. And there are a couple of small things that we have to do to remain compliant. And one of the larger things that we have to do is our double door situation at the entrance to the board office is non-compliant. Mr. Morris, you can correct me if I make a mistake. My understanding is the two sets of doors are too close together to be ADA compliant, basically. So what we have to do is take those doors out and put in a new set of double doors that are a little farther apart. And I think that's pretty much the process. Would that be accurate, Mr. Morris?
Oh, is that for
The
wheelchair
laboratory.
accessibility? Is that what that's for?
Correct.
Oh, yes, and making some
Okay.
internal changes in the laboratory. I forgot
For
about that.
wheelchair accessibility.
It also says here we've got front sidewalk and barrier-free parking areas, in other words, so the wheelchairs can get up.
Okay, does
onto the
this include
sidewalk.
bathrooms or anything like that?
It inc-
Like the bathrooms also?
Just one.
Okay, because when we seen this and we said improvements to administration, and I'm thinking, laid off 64 employees, that doesn't
We're not
go
getting
too
new
well
lo-
with the local, So and when
not
people
getting
see
new
this, we can
offices.
explain to
We should
our
have made it
membership
clearer.
Yeah, it
what
should have been.
that's about, because, we are trying to work with the school board and up on everything, so, okay, thank you.
Okay, do we have anybody that we've missed? I don't think so. Next is items of interest from Mr. Weiss.
Okay, you have in your packets several communications that were sent out over the last several weeks, just informational items. The first one is a communication to Merriman and Hale Creek parents regarding the New Start times. This is something that was initiated by the two building principals expressing concern that we let parents know about the start times. Also, that we are, I don't want to say bringing back, but we will be busing K-6 to both of those buildings. The next one is a communication regarding our School of Choice program for Highland Park subdivision residents. And the third one is district-wide communication with kind of pursuant to setting the starting date of school for students that we did at the last board meeting, and also the times for parents, letting them know. In the absence of a collectively bargained calendar, we felt that it was important that we get the word out to our community members of the change in start times, because we know many of our parents will have to make some adjustments with respect to childcare and maybe some work start and end time adjustments as well. That's basically the body of information that's being shared there. And then you have a couple of samples of School of Choice brochures, and I'm happy to report that that it was a very productive first week. We signed up, I believe it's 18 or 19 new School of Choice families after the first week, and as you are aware, our open enrollment will continue for 2 more weeks, ending a week from this coming Friday. So we look forward to another productive week. Again, our goal wasn't to attract hundreds and hundreds of students, but just to allow us to kind of round out some of our class sizes, and we've made good progress there. And then lastly, you have a communication from Representative Hopgood, kind of an update of his role in current legislation.
Okay, next we have questions and concerns from the board members. Any comments or questions? Everybody all set? Next, we need to go into executive session. There will be resolution afterwards, if you want to stick around.
What is the purpose of your executive session?
To the resolution for our school calendar.
Negotiations.
Yes. So we need a roll call, please. First, we need a motion.
I would like to make a motion that we convene into executive session.
Support. Naima did.
Motion by Ms. White, supported by,
I guess we were talking together under
I support.
supported by Ms. Buckley. Need a
Yeah.
roll call, please.
Okay. Mrs. Buckley?
Yes.
Mr. Cooterick?
Yes.
Lanasi? Mr. Minkevich?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
And Ms. White, yes.
Okay. Soon. We need a motion to go back into open session,
I
please.
would like to make a motion to reconvene into regular session.
Motion by Ms. White, supported by Mr. Cooterick. We need roll call, please.
Ms. Buckley?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Who are you? Mr. Cooterick, Ms. Lanasi?
Yes.
Mr. Minkevich?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
And Ms. White?
Okay. We have a resolution in front of us, and we need a recommended motion for our school calendar. And just to say, in fairness to our parents' committee, our community, our staff, and our teachers, we need something in place so at least everyone knows when school starts and how to plan for their days to follow. Can I have a motion, please?
Madam President, I'll make the motion for a resolution for the 2006-2007 school calendar.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Minkevich, supported by Mr. Cooterick.
You gotta read it.
Oh, you're gonna go ahead and read it? I'm sorry.
Now, therefore, be it resolved that subject to further negotiations and agreement with the Wayne County MEA/NEA, the Board of Education of the Romulus Community Schools hereby adopts the attached school calendar, which includes 180 days of student instruction and 185 teacher working days, and directs members of the bargaining unit represented by the Wayne County MEA/NEA to report for duty accordingly at their directed starting times.
Okay. Made a motion by Mrs. White, supported by Mr. Cooterick.
I made the motion.
Mr.
No, it's
Minkevich
I
made
made
the
the
motion.
Mr. Cabbage,
And
Mr.
supported by
Cooterick. I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Cooterick.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Do we, that's all we have. We have adjournment. Can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
I would like to make a, support.
All in favor?
Aye. What'd you get, Bucky and White?